North Korea has announced that it's going to allow auditors and media into the country in order to watch them demolish the nuclear testing site ahead of the agreement that they've put together with other countries, particularly the South, in order to ensure that they stop the nuclear program. Now, a lot of Marxists and anti-imperialists in general are concerned that this is the DPRK capitulating to the West to get rid of their nukes, which many of us agree would be a tremendous mistake to make. Now, I don't believe that is the case. Now, Kim Jong-un has said publicly that it's okay for them to cease further nuclear testing because they've already reached a level of development that they were seeking. They do have the ability to strike the United States mainland. That's now within their power. That deterrent against invasion is now in their hands. So, in a manner of speaking, they don't really need to develop any further. I mean, I would always consider going on with the nuclear test to try to perfect what it is that you already have. But we can see the political maneuver on their part. Now that they're going to be getting rid of the nuclear testing site, they're going to cease building further nuclear weapons. They now can, in exchange, get a relief from some of the sanctions on there, but without abandoning their deterrent from invasion, which is what it is that they wanted from the beginning. In a manner of speaking, at least when it comes to the issue of nuclear weapons, the DPRK has won. They are going to keep the weapons, and they are going to have that deterrent against invasion while having the sanctions lifted against them. The United States can get what it wants to a degree by having the DPRK not further develop nuclear weapons anymore, but the deterrent is still there. This is something the U.S. has to capitulate to. They don't have the ability to take that nuke away or get rid of the nuclear deterrent. The best they can hope for at this time is to prevent it from spreading any further or becoming any more sophisticated or increasing in any numbers. Now, the DPRK has said that it looks forward to denuclearizing the peninsula. They did not say that they were going to get rid of their nukes. Either the whole peninsula is going to be clear of this kind of weaponry, or it's going to remain. Now, that's significant because the DPRK is saying that as long as there is no threat against it, it does not need any weapons to defend itself. Now, of course, we know that so long as the United States remains an imperialist power, it's going to remain in place, and the DPRK is going to be under threat. There is not going to be any backing down, any significant backing down of the U.S. empire. They are going to be going after the DPRK no matter what, whether that be overtly with military drills, etc., or something that is much more subtle, something behind the scenes, with sabotage, provocation, even possible decapitation efforts. So I don't think we have to worry about the DPRK wholly capitulating to imperialism. I don't think that's going to happen. Given everything that Kim Jong-un has set up with these negotiations and the actions that he's willing to take, the actions he's not willing to take, he's made it very clear that there's not going to be an outright capitulation to imperialism. But here's where I think the real danger comes in. Now, it's been reported through other sources, not through Kim Jong-un himself, that he wants to pursue a more Chinese path. In other words, opening up to a market-based system. Even has been reported something somewhat like Vietnam. In other words, frankly, abandoning socialism altogether. I think the real danger lies in possibly opening up the markets too much. So I think they may be opening up to help themselves out, but this may grow into something larger, that a more devastating effect on socialism may creep its way in. I think it's something more subtle that we have to worry about, rather than something very overt like there being a Khrushchev that just completely dismantles everything. So I don't think the danger lies in one big capitulation to imperialism, but rather the subtle, slow change, or even, the kind of slippery slope that we've seen that's happened with other socialist countries. I think that's where the real danger lies in this situation. So I think it's foolish for some commentators to consider Kim Jong-un to be some kind of traitor. I don't think that's the case at all. In fact, he has been very adamant about maintaining the independence of the DPRK away from U.S. imperialism, East on gun policy and all that. But I think the real danger lies in the slow kind of transformation that takes place with economic reforms, similar to what happened with Cuba. There was no big overt sellout, but there was a slow transformation towards a market economy inside the country that frankly does place the country in jeopardy to capitalism. I mean, if you're at the point where you're allowing foreign banks to run in the country and foreign banks to buy property inside the country, I think it's pretty clear that you've capitulated to at least some degree to foreign capital. But I don't think that's the case with the DPRK. It's one of the things where there could be a slippery slope, but we have to wait and see if it actually happens. But I think it's important to acknowledge that that threat is still there, and it's one that could end up harming the DPRK in the future.
Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.